World titles, a cornerstone of wrestling. For as long as wrestling promotions have existed, title belts have as well. They feature in big matches as a status to defend or a prize to attain. But when broken down, title belts are nothing more than objects, only given meaning and significance by the people fighting over it and the fans watching. There's no official governing body that regulates world titles. Any promotion can assign value to whatever belt they wish. These straps of leather and gold are only worth what people perceive. And given that, what if what you were fighting for isn't a world championship, but something much more innocuous? What if you fought for a hat? On the 6th of July 2019, tucked away in an alleyway in Shinjuku, the promotion Gato Move is putting on a series of matches for their latest trainees. These aren't ordinary wrestling matches with a set time limit of 3 minutes and no way of winning. They are meant as exhibitions to display the promise of this generation's trainees. One by one, the girls complete their matches showing off their talents, and then the spotlight arrives on the trainee Lulu Pencil. She nervously approaches her opponent and offers her thin, pencil-like arm for a handshake with her opponent. However, Yuna Mizumori slaps it away, and that sets the tone for the match. Lulu's light frame is easily pushed around by her stronger opponent. She tries to apply holds and set up roll-ups, but Lulu is just too weak to make an impact. Over the course of 3 minutes, Lulu is pinned twice and taps out 3 times. One time needed to tap during the submission she was applying because Yuna was too heavy over Lulu's legs. After the bell rings, Lulu is seen still submitting, either still in pain or from frustration from such a poor showing. But Lulu would not need to wait long for another chance to prove herself. Over a month later, Lulu and Yuna face off one more time in Lulu's official debut as a pro wrestler. And while she isn't pinned in 40 seconds, like last time, she is still unable to overcome Yuna once again. A wrestler's debut is important to them, and whilst winning would be the desired outcome, if you lose, you get up, dust yourself off, learn from it, become better, and then try to win the next match. But the problem is, Lulu is just not that good as a wrestler. She is light, meaning her opponents can easily throw her around. She's not strong at all, so when performing strikes, she gets hurt instead. She's not particularly agile or graceful, falling over and missing moments to capitalize on. And she is not adept at applying wrestling moves, frequently tapping out to her own submissions. Why would Lulu continue to participate in something she shows no immediate talent in, where she is beaten up and left on the mat in pain night after night? It's really quite simple. Lulu loves pro wrestling. Outside of the ring, she is a freelance writer, and she has done many articles on pro wrestling. She has been going to wrestling shows for many years. Why would Lulu stop something she clearly has a passion for? And that is Lulu's biggest strength. She won't give up. And Lulu's commitment begins to pay off. She is able to wrestle some big names in the Tokyo wrestling scene, even heading over to other countries to perform in front of fans just as passionate about wrestling as her. Still without a win to her name, but as 2019 ends and 2020 begins, Lulu is optimistic that it will happen sooner rather than later. By the end of March 2020, the COVID-19 crisis has reached a critical point all over the world. Because of this, all wrestling promotions have to cancel shows with no indication of when they can be started back up. And so a decision was made within Gato Move. Shows will continue, but they will have no live audience. Instead, the shows will be streamed live online. And what's more, they would be offered for free via a no paywall initiative, with costs being paid for by fan donations and the selling of merch and shoutouts. With a new way of presenting themselves, Gato Move rebrands to Choco Pro Wrestling. Gato Move was already an unconventional promotion, holding the majority of their shows in a cramped room that couldn't even fit in a second row of seats for audience members, let alone a wrestling ring. This meant that the style of wrestling is unique to the promotion, with wrestlers utilizing their environment like an old Jackie Chan film. Run by legendary Joshi-style Emi Sakura, former founder of Ice Ribbon and trainer of the likes of Riho and Hikaru Shida, the girls of Gato Move are in good hands. And with Emi Sakura being such a respected figure, she is able to still bring in special guest talent to put on the best shows possible. After a 2-month absence, Lulu Pencil returns to wrestling for Choco Pro, but her success is not any better, losing match after match. But Lulu's determination is overpowering, allowing her to enter each match fresh, and every loss is another learning experience. But if she had a partner, a teammate to rely on, she would not only learn much faster, but also have someone to complement her weaknesses. Fortunately, she finds a teammate with Emi Sakura herself. Only it's not Emi Sakura, it's the pencil-fied Emi Pencil. Emi Sakura has been putting her all in making Choco Pro a successful promotion, and in the show prior went over 30 minutes in a last man standing match against Yuna. Emi Sakura was victorious, but put so much into that match it left her body in need of recovering. So teaming with Lulu would allow her to do so in less hard-hitting matches. So she enters alongside Lulu with blue overalls and a matching blue hat, creating the Pencil Army with Lulu, Emi, and Yu. The two work together well, giving Mitsuru and Tukiko a difficult time. But as the match goes on, it begins to fall apart. Emi Pencil's injured back begins to cause her problems in the match, allowing Lulu to be isolated, and it's not long before Lulu is pinned. Lulu and Emi, disappointed in their defeat, vow that the result will be different next time. The next 3 matches, the Pencil Army lose again and again. The losses start to cause a rift to form within Pencil Army. Lulu being happy they lost in their 4th match, as she wasn't the one to get pinned, meaning she must be getting stronger. And Emi Pencil's cryptic teachings aren't helping, especially when lessons contradict each other, and Emi Pencil punishes Lulu for getting them wrong. The final pencil occurs when the Pencil Army fail to win in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Emi had been doing motivational math that the 1 + 1 of Pencil Army equals infinity, but after today's loss, Lulu is demoralized enough to say that 1 + 1 really equals 0, setting the two pencils to fight each other to settle their differences for the Season 2 finale of Choco Pro. The pencils may enter separately, but they still complete the Pencil Army chant together. But as the match gets underway, Emi Pencil slaps away Lulu's hand. The two still embody what it means to be Pencil Army, but think differently as to why they have been losing so many matches. Lulu catches Emi off guard with a quick attack and succeeds in a test of strength. But when she tries to perform a wrestling hold, she hesitates, giving Emi a chance to fight back. Emi throws Lulu to the wall, but because Lulu is so weak, she crumples to the floor before Emi can perform a follow-up attack. Lulu focuses on Emi's injured back with pencil jabs, but after so many tries, Emi manages to hit Lulu with a chop against the wall, and then shades of Emi Sakura begin to be drawn out. But Emi takes too long, allowing Lulu to get her legs up, and uses the tip of the pencil to cause more damage to Emi's back. Lulu knocks Emi Pencil out of the window, and tries to keep her locked out so she can take a breather and formulate a plan. But Emi traps Lulu's arm in the window and kicks her away. Both pencils take opposite corners of the arena, daring the other to make the first move. Lulu gets up first, pulls down her straps and hits Emi with elbow strikes. But when Emi cannot respond with her own straps, Lulu takes advantage with foot stomps and low drop kicks. She offers Emi to do the ice driver, but uses it to inflict more damage on Emi's back. Diving Pencil only gets a 2. Lulu uses a table for leverage, only gets a 2. A flying 90-degree pencil dive only gets a 2. Lulu signals for the finish, but Emi quickly comes in to switch momentum. Lulu reverses Emi's hold and goes into a backslide, but she doesn't apply it correctly, so Emi's shoulders aren't on the mat. Emi's back now stretched over Lulu's, and Emi's weight crushing Lulu, both holding on to see which pencil will break first. Lulu gets free and uses a magistral that ends with a pencil dive, trapping Emi in a submission and then goes for another magistral. Emi Pencil, furious that Lulu would try to end this with one of her finishes, quickly kicks out and before Lulu can react, applies a magistral of her own effortlessly and keeps Lulu down for the 3 count. Lulu takes a break from the Pencil Army, working as a singles competitor, leading up to Choco Pro's biggest show yet. After months of performing in Choco Square, Choco Pro will be holding its first event within a wrestling ring. It will still be no audience, but it is still a big event nonetheless. And what's more, the main event had to be changed last minute due to injury, giving Lulu a huge opportunity as she now has a prominent singles match on the card. There is just one problem with her opponent. The newly crowned DDT Universal Champion Chris Brooks will be facing Lulu. Before the show can officially begin, Chris interrupts Aki as he addresses the audience. As the Universal Champion, he demands his match be the main event of the show. Aki, hesitant as he is not sure if he can make that change, asks Emi Sakura. Emi is overjoyed that the main event will be a title match. Chris is quick to refuse. Why would he put his title on the line for a loser like Lulu? But Lulu comes out to confront Chris. If Chris is too much of a coward to put his belt on the line, she will put her hat on the line instead. And with that, the match is set. Chris begins the match toying with Lulu, throwing her around and taking advantage of how impressionable Lulu is. Lulu tries to catch Chris off guard with a quick roll-up, but after spending her advantage, Chris takes control by slamming Lulu in the canvas, and proceeds to wear down Lulu. But Chris shouldn't take Lulu so lightly, and after escaping from a slam, Lulu mounts a comeback. With fast strikes and roll-ups, Lulu changes her offense to confuse Chris, but all it takes from Chris is one hard chop to have momentum swing back in his favour. Lulu calls for timeout, and according to cameraman Aki,
"Time is legal! Time is legal in pro wrestling! I've seen it many times!"
Lulu returns with two chairs, and instead of hitting each other with them, Lulu sets them up so that she can catch her breath, and sits down. Chris offers for Lulu to strike first, but all Lulu can muster are some ineffective punches. Chris gets ready to strike back, but this was all part of Lulu's plan. She dodges Chris's punch and hits back with a strong right. She keeps avoiding Chris's attacks, and almost knocks him off his chair. When Chris has enough and charges Lulu, she trips him. Chris slamming his head in the chair, Lulu goes for the cover, but Chris kicks out at 2. Chris applies Boston Crab on Lulu. Lulu crawls for the ropes as her partner Emi watches on. And to help inspire her, Lulu's hat is placed in front of her, the reason she is fighting, the hat that made this match a main event in the first place. Reinvigorated, Lulu hits Chris with a flurry of elbows, but unlike most times, she ignores the pain that would usually occur in these situations and forces Chris to the corner. She then dodges Chris's counter and hits a pencil jab for another near fall, but when Lulu fails at applying an abdominal stretch, Chris breaks free and hits Lulu with an explosive drop kick. Lulu kicks out of the pin and fires back with pencil jabs. She goes to Brett's rope, but Chris intercepts. Lulu fights him off once again with pencil jabs, and like a determined leaf, hits a pencil dive. Lulu goes even higher for a second attack, but Chris attempts to push Lulu off and onto the ringside tables. Lulu holds on and, taking advantage of the situation, plants Chris with the DDT. Chris barely being able to kick out. As the match reaches its conclusion, Lulu applies an octopus stretch correctly, stopping Chris from reaching the ropes, but this forces Chris to the ground, loosening the hold, allowing Chris to shift position and apply a round-the-back torture rack, shaking Lulu until she is forced to tap out. Chris stands over a limp and defeated Lulu with his new prize of Lulu's hat and leaves. Over the coming weeks, Lulu and Emi team off and on, but for Lulu, something is missing. The loss to Chris and the loss of her hat has gotten to her more than she would like to admit. Emi Pencil does her best to substitute Lulu's hat with other clothes and accessories. She tries a hat similar to her own, a cute pink bow, and a total wardrobe change, but it's not the same, it's not right. And another match with Chris plants seeds of doubt in Lulu's head. That being with Emi Pencil is not best for her. And eventually, Lulu leaves Emi Pencil once more. 2 months after their confrontation, Lulu is standing side by side with the man who stole her hat. Chris explains that Pencil Army is dead, and that now is the time for Pencil Army 2.0, with him, Lulu, and no one else. The bell rings and Chris watches the Pencil Army tear itself apart. Emi Pencil fights hard against not just the taller and stronger Chris, but also her former Pencil Army friend. She attempts a Tiger Driver, but her back gives out, leaving her at Chris's mercy. Either by impulse or not, Emmy pleads with Lulu to tag her out, but Chris's poison has sunk too deep into Lulu, and she strikes her former friend in the injured back. Chris attempts to have Lulu pin Emmy for the win, something that would humiliate Emmy, but also not give Lulu the satisfaction of a well-earned victory. But eventually, it comes down to Chris to tap out Emmy, and Lulu and Chris have won.
You know what, Lulu? You're right, today we won. And I'm proud of you.
They witnessed our victory.
They witnessed, everyone saw your victory. And I'm proud of you, Lulu. Today you did it.
You proud of me?
You did it. I'm proud of you. You believed in yourself and you did it. Are you proud of yourself?
Yes!
Yes. And I think there's only one suitable way to celebrate such a victory. You stay here. You stay here.
Look it.
Broken dungarees.
Yeah.
Don't matter anymore, because after that win today, Lulu, I've got something for you. I think you deserve something back. I think after that,
I deserve what?
after that win today, you deserve your hat back. You deserve your hat back. Finally. It's been months, but finally.
3 months.
3 months. I think
3 months.
today,
I hope.
today you've earned it. You've earned it. You've earned it.
Today, I did it!
Chris Brown! I thought he'd be better! He'd be better!
I'm joking, you idiot. I'm not proud of Lulu at all. The only thing that she's proven today is that she's weak and impressionable. You turned on your mentor and best friend.
You're right!
Lulu, you are never getting back this hat.
Emmy Pencil had not moved since getting submitted by Chris, but to help her friend she crawls over and tries to stop Chris. After Chris tries to leave, Emmy Pencil corners him and demands a handicap match of Pencil Army vs Brooks. Chris thinks this is unfair and so wants a tag partner. Calculated or not, he calls for Yuna to be his tag partner, and she accepts. At Choco Pro 63, it will be Lulu Pencil and Emmy Pencil facing off against Chris Brooks, the man who stole Lulu's hat and manipulated her, and Yuna Mizumori, who has handily defeated Lulu many times, and someone who would love to prove herself to Emi Sakura. And the cherry on top, this will be an I Quit match. As Lulu crawls on the floor, Chris approaches with her hat. He offers it to her. She can have it. All she has to do is say that she quits. But Lulu will not give up. Why is the hat so important? Why would Lulu sacrifice her body for something so simple as a hat? An exhausted Lulu slaps away the hat and attempts to fight off Chris. But with one hellish lariat, Lulu is knocked prone, but she still refuses to give up. Frustrated at not being able to break Lulu's spirit, Chris attempts to break her body. All tied up, Lulu has no choice but to give up, but she can't. She lost the hat once before, and she may never get another chance to get it back. As Emmy watches on in horror, she does what she thinks is best for her friend, and gives up on her behalf. Chris stands over a limp and defeated Lulu, and hands her the hat back, and leaves.
Hey. これ待って。
はい。そうですよ。
ルルちゃんがデビューした時の帽子は違うんだけど、私これロンドンに行った時に、その時にこのちょっとピンクリボンのメッセージもあって、ルルちゃんにこの帽子似合うんじゃないかと思ってお土産に買ってきた帽子。いやー、本当？
本当です。
いつから来てんの？
いや、もらってる時。
知らなかった。
大事なリングの大会とかで使おうと思ってたんですけど、もうこれで行こうと思って。
あ、そうなの？じゃあデビューした時の帽子って別にあったの？
あったんですけど。
帽子を変えたの？
はい。それ本当ですか？
本当に。
忘れてた。
いや別に近くでルルのさ帽子あんまり見たこともなかったし。だ
からこんなに一生懸命取り返そうとしたんですよ。でもオンリーワンだから、This is the only one hat in the world。さくらさんの教えを最初に感じた時に、じゃあ一緒に頑張ろうと思った。This is my treasure!
Lulu didn't win, but she didn't lose either. The story of Lulu Pencil and her hat show that you don't need a grand stage or a world title to make a match compelling. You can be considered a bad wrestler, but if you present yourself honestly, people can still look past that and rally behind you. This is not the end of Lulu's journey, and myself and many fans await the day that she will get her first victory. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't about a Tokyo Joshi wrestler, but Lulu's story was so inspiring that I really wanted to talk about it. And this isn't the end of Lulu's story by any means. I have only gotten to, say, a third or maybe halfway of what is happening currently with Lulu. So if you would like to catch up, I would recommend watching Karen Watches Wrestling. She did a video about Lulu Pencil, which kind of gets you up to date of what she's going to be doing next, which is on July 22nd. She will be doing her final match with Chris Brooks in an Iron Man match, which will last 30 minutes. Really excited to see what happens there. And that brings me to people I'd like to thank. I would like to thank Stuart Irvison. He was a great help in pointing out which matches I should be paying attention to when I asked him. His website, Rambling About Wrestling, is what really drove me to make this video, because he presented it in such a compelling way that I really wanted to do it justice with a video. And I would also like to thank my translator, Jin, who, as always, provides me with top quality translations in a speedy fashion. And I would also like to thank all the people who work at Gato Move and Choco Pro. They've been doing a great service ever since lockdown started a year and a half ago by providing almost daily entertainment for everyone to just keep their mind off things and keep people happy and smiling. So big thanks to them. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you who have been watching my videos for a year now. It's been a great ride, and we can only see where it takes us. Where it will take us is a lot of the storylines that have happened a lot of the storylines which I've wanted to do have kind of concluded in the last couple of months, which is good, so I am super motivated to get to work on more Tokyo Joshi stars and look forward to them. So, again, thank you so much for watching. Ta-ta. She then dodges Chris's counter and hits a pencil jab for another near fall. I had an ice cream to eat, and I just remembered. And it's probably melted by now. Where is it?